Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, I've been watching with great interest what is going on in America. I do have an affinity for America, even though I actually left because I didn't want to live there anymore, and I came to live in the Philippines, as you may well know. Well, I'm now looking, and I can't help but see how what is going on over there. Sorry, I'm trying to turn that that noise off. Where is it? Get down. Hopefully that's done it. Yeah, I can't help but feel that there are parallels between possibly all of our lives, because when I look, people send me quite a lot of really interesting information, and one of the messages that I got, that I won't bore you by trying to find it now, but it talks about what Iran had been doing for quite some time, and everybody has been up in arms about Trump's action, President Trump's action, in taking out the leader, what was his name? Soleimani. Anyway, he was taken out. He was killed surgically. It showed just how effective that the US can respond if they so desire, and because of the divisions politically that are raging in that country, regretfully, the left decided not to back President Trump's action, even though Iran had been the bully for quite a time, and appeasement has been the way that things are being treated. And so they've been kind of begging people. I think it's called propitiation, where you say, please don't hurt me, you can have anything you want. That's how bullies are often dealt with. That is, until somebody stands up and opposes them. Well, one of the biggest bullies that I've ever met once said to me, when he was telling me his Mr. Wonderful stories, as they all have these Mr. Wonderful stories, their bullies don't see themselves as being bullies. He said, the easiest way to end a fight, you just give the guy a bloody nose. And this all resonated with me, and I remembered that. And when he started his bullying, I gave the equivalent of a bloody nose, and sure enough, it ended a lot of the fight. But it doesn't end completely, forever. You know, one bloody nose is one bloody nose, and blood starts to harden, and finally you peel the scabs off, and you're almost back to normal. Because if that's the way that you behave, that's the way that you're going to continue to behave, because these people, these nations that do this, don't change. And what has happened, I think, for me, in my opinion, is that Trump has stood up and delivered a bloody nose. Will it end? No, it won't. Will it end it all? No, it won't. But he stood up and did it. Now, a lot of people are all saying, well, that's it, Third World War. But it's not. Eventually, you need to stand up and say enough is enough, and that's what President Trump has done. So, irrespective of whether you like the guy, and I've tried to make this point many times when talking about this, and that is, I don't like a lot of actors. I don't particularly like Tom Cruise, but I watch his movies because I think he makes good movies. Would I want him as a friend? No, I very much doubt that I would. Now, and there are lots of others who you wouldn't consider having them as a friend, but they have very watchable movies. In other words, the job that they do very well, and because of that, for what they are, you should be acknowledging that. And President Trump doesn't come round to dinner at my place, and he never calls me up and asks how I'm doing, but he seems to be doing a good job at what he is supposed to be doing. So I'll forgive him for not being my bosom buddy, and for not calling, and for forgetting my birthday. I'll forgive him for all of those, because at the moment he is doing so much. And I believe under Obama the unemployment rate was something like over 9%. With Mr. Trump, President Trump, it's down 3%. And jobs are being created, and I think America is actually beginning to, in what seems to be a contradiction, because it's very divided politically, but there is a feeling of unity that is coming about now, that people are saying, yeah, we're going to be great again. It was always great to me, but anyway, there's been a suffering on that. And now I see that rather than jobs closing down and factories closing down, there's going to be a huge factory that's going to be put up in the Detroit area. So jobs are coming back. And when all of these big companies were scooting off to China and to Mexico and taking thousands of jobs with them, it wasn't good. And the way to do that was, the way to stop that was what Trump has done. He's declared tariffs, and as far as I know, he's told China that if they behave and keep their word and keep the agreements, then the tariffs will be lower. But if they start to do what they've done for years, which is penalize the West and yet enjoy big breaks in the West, they've done that for a long time, and now I think that they're being pegged on that, and it's not happening as much. So okay, Trump may not be Mr. Nice Guy in your estimation, but if you look at just what he's done and what he's been doing in his work, then for me he gets, I think he's doing fine. As I said, there are parallels between my experience here and the experience of Trump. Trump has, as well as our own president here in the Philippines, has people accusing him of terrible things, and they're doing it from the bushes where they're not known. And that's exactly what happens if you are a YouTuber and you have people who, without identifying themselves, can falsely accuse you of all kinds of stuff. And they're not accountable because nobody knows their name, and they're cowards, and they will do what they do because that is what they do. And Trump has now been accused of all kinds of things, like they're all up there saying that it's World War III. It's not World War III. It's a bloody nose has been handed out, and we will see what happens. And as for the mistaken shooting down of an aircraft with 170 people on it, it was all a mistake. Yeah, right. So, had to say my little bit on the bully thing. I see that when bullies are given their bloody nose, they go back whimpering, and then strangely people start to get sorry for them and say, no, they didn't do it, they didn't mean it, and all of that. it amazes me the way that this happened. That's what happened when we stood up to our local bully, and people said, you should take down that video, it's not very nice, is it? And we've been going through all kinds of stuff for nearly a year until we finally said, sorry, no more. So there'll be a little bit of crap to go through, but eventually it will sort out, including ours. So thanks for looking in. This is a Foreigner in the Philippines.